So the first of 24 races gets underway here at Paul Fletcher International. Up first, it is Project E20, Junior, Senior and Masters. Here is your starting grid. Pole position yesterday was taken by Sweden's Junior Jonsson. Alongside him will be Great Britain's Spencer Brorum in the 765. There has been a problem for Victor Sundberg as the kart is not reacting at the moment due to start 9th. We've got Philip Loacker and Tomasz Ibsen from Switzerland and Poland on row 2. Then it's an all-British row number 3 as we have Daniel Sabula and we welcome back Charlie Turner in 6th position. George Holbrook and Thijs Dams, last year's Project E20 junior runner-up and 3rd at the Grand Finals in Bahrain, well, in 2021, and was 3rd in the Grand Finals that same year. Victor Sundberg due to start 9th. We'll have Mats-Johan Overhoff on the outside of row number 5, thereby completing the top 10. Andreas Mattis and Canada's Andrew Lloyd round out the top 12 ahead of Cameron Crockett and Nils Lilja from Sweden. Gilberto Loacker and Hector Ramirez round out the top 8 rows. Kaz Palderman's on the sidelines, unfortunately, was due to start 17th. And on the outside of that row will be the pole sitter in E20 Junior, Joshua Graham. Harrison Whitcomb, Christopher Holst, Arthur Lorimier, Antoine Lemieux, David Plancourt and Frederic Lemieux round out the 24-strong grid, now down to, at the moment, 22. So Project E20 will be the only class that will have a standing start. They produce 190 Newton meters of torque from the permanent magnetic synchronous motors. These will accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.5 seconds. That's pretty comparable to a Porsche 911 Carrera. And they will hit a top speed, including the use of the boost button, to around 135 kilometers an hour, which is north of 85 miles an hour. So each of the E20 heats will take place over a duration of 7 minutes, plus an additional lap here at the home of British karting at Paul Fletcher International. So we will have 2 separate starts as the flag marshal moves away from the front of E20 Masters and Seniors. The lights are on. And we are underway. Good start on the outside of the front ride by Spencer Brorum as he leads the field into the Bruno Ferrari S's for the opening tour. Side by side for fourth and 6th as they go under the hill for the first time. Now over through Uncle Tyrone's banking over towards the left-hander here at the Litchfield Bridge. As Spencer Brorum, who's been running as a privateer in the B&L Karting Series, has stretched away. He might have used the boost activation to get through down to the first hairpin. It's slow in, fast out, 3 wide into the first hairpin. A little bit of a banzai towards the bottom of the top 10 as the E20 Juniors get underway. And Joshua Graham already has sprinted into the distance as the remainder of the field make their way through. The Fullerton S is named after British karting legend Terry Fullerton. And now into the right-hander here at the Bobby Game corner. They are starting to catch Spencer Brorum as Junior Jonsson from Sweden rounds out 2nd position. Into the Mike Wilson complex for the first time. And then through into the chicane that leads them onto this very long start-finish straight where overtaking will be personified by a lot of slipstreaming. Oh, bit of a wide moment coming out of the chicane by 2nd position. And that is Junior Jonsson, Tomasz Ibsen up to 3rd place. Philip Loacker now being chased down by Thijs Dams in the 721. Daniel Sabula down into what is 6th position as they were 2 wide coming through into the Litchfield Bridge. But Spencer Brorum has got a comfortable advantage at the moment, which is about 4.5 tenths of a second. And now Tomasz Ibsen looks to be up into 2nd position. Junior Jonsson flies it down the inside. Thijs Dams gets through on the 753 of Junior Jonsson, who's falling down the order as we speak. And in the meantime, at the moment, the juniors are making their way through into the Litchfield Bridge and down the dip in towards the first hairpin. So 2 very tight right and left-hand hairpins, respectively. Joshua Graham is being closed in by Christopher Holst from Switzerland. 3rd position looks to be Antoine Lemieux from Canada. And still the seniors and masters making their way through up the hill. Mats-Johan Overhoff up to 8th. And looks like Thijs Dams has had a bit of a drama. He's dropped all the way down to 15th position overall. So Mats-Johan Overhoff, who's got the Kraft Motorsport livery on the Project E20. That's the first time that someone's done that in the Euro Trophy history. Hopefully his Supermats fan club is watching on the stream with us. Coming up to just under 4.5 minutes to go. Spencer Broom is going to lead now, and it's a British 1-2. Charlie Turner, who is now the current reigning Motorsport UK British Kart Championships KZ2 champion, looking to defend his title this year. He's also rocking the Maranello overalls with Rush Performance here as well. Had a lot of positive feedback from quite a few drivers, including Spencer Broom, including Charlie Turner, who said it's a bit different because you don't get that noise sensation. But Charlie Turner has got Tomasz Ibsen from Poland right on his rear bumper as they go up the hill through Uncle Tyrone's banking, over the crest, into the left-hander, at the right, the left-hander here at the Litchfield Bridge. Down the dip they go. A little bit of a scrabble for 4th and 5th. That's between Thijs Dams and Junior Jonsson. Thijs Dams is now 3rd. So at the moment, Tomasz Ibsen finds himself. Oh, he dives up the inside, bit of a spin and a bit of a clatter into one and another. That included the 7-3-1. Philip Luaka went for a dive bomb, and then all of a sudden Daniel Sabula tried to look up, got caught unawares, and now is on the outside apex. He's on the outside of the curbing on the second infield hairpin. The top three have started to break away. Thijs Dams really starting to close on in on the two in front. So yellow flags. Now these carts weigh approximately 140 kilos. As a great move through into the Bruno Ferrari S's for second position. Thijs Dams gets through on Charlie Turner for P2. And at the moment, the E20 juniors are making their way through the Mike Wilson complex, being led by Joshua Graham, one of a handful of drivers doing double duty, not only just running internal combustion engines in their respective max classes, but also giving E20 a try. So Graham is about 0.6 of a second ahead of Christopher Holst. Harrison Whitacombe rounding out the top three. Clear up by the marshals there on the inside of the second hairpin. So Daniel Sabula not having a great opening start to the first of 3 heats. But with just over 2 minutes to go, it is Spencer Broom leading the way. Thijs Dams is trying to close on in. He's about 0.53 of a second behind in second position. Then it's Charlie Turner. Junior Jonsson has set the fastest lap of the race, 57.799. Now you can see the train coming down into the first hairpin. Some will be using the boost button, which gives you an extra 4 kilowatts of delivery and can be deployed for 5 seconds. Then you have to have a 30-second recharge cycle. Also had the opportunity personally to drive one of these carts at Karting Genk early last year. Very, very much impressed. And Daryl Smith, have to give that man a shout out along with Steve Chapman. They've been the ones that have really been refining the product, and now to extend it to Masters for the older drivers that might want to have that opportunity of an arrive and drive package. The chance to give these a go. Coming up to the final minute, we have got yellow flags going in towards the Bruno Ferrari S's. Through underneath the hill, there is a little bit of a battle towards the back end of the seniors and the Masters classification at the moment. And now Thijs Dams has got the lead from Spencer Broom as they go through in towards hairpin number 2. Broom in second, third it's Charlie Turner, fourth it's Junior Jonsson from Sweden, and Tomasz Ibsen from Poland that completes the top 5. And Andreas Mattis at the minute is still leading the E20 Masters classification, running 10th overall, but it is Linus Stern as we're going to go on to the penultimate lap. Top 5 carts last time around were separated by 1.3 seconds. Out of the final corner they go. Thijs Dams leads the way. Looks to be a change for 3rd position. That was more than likely Tomasz Ibsen getting through on Charlie Turner as they go through into the Bruno Ferrari S's. Timer has now expired. Now a change for the lead. Spencer Broom sends it up the inside, through into the left-hander of the Litchfield Bridge, and Charlie Turner makes a great move on Junior Jonsson to retake 3rd position. Now this is where the boost really comes into play. Ibsen sends it up the inside of Jonsson into the first hairpin. Spencer Brorum and Charlie Turner side by side on the run down to the left-hand hairpin. And Days Dams looks up the inside of Turner. Does he get the room to get through? It's going to be too wide. Junior Jonsson run of the back bumper of the Belgian heading into the Fullerton S's. They both make it through on Turner. Ibsen just waiting in the wings, but this has given Spencer Brorum the opportunity to pull away as they head into the Mike Wilson complex on what is the penultimate lap, lap number 8, about to be completed. As Spencer Brorum comes out of the final corner, last lap board is in the air. Now it's going to be a skirmish for second position. Who's going to pick up the scraps on the table? Spencer Brorum has cantered away. He's got a gap of at least 6 to 6.5 tenths of a second as they go onto the Litchfield Bridge for the final time. Taze Dams holding off Charlie Turner, Junior Jonsson and Tomas Ibsen for second position. And now Jonsson goes scything up the inside of Ibsen, who then responds into the first hairpin. Jonsson was trying to go towards the outside of the first hairpin on Charlie Turner, but did not make it stick. Jonsson now down into 5th position, and not too far behind them, Philip Loacker in the 731 from Switzerland is closely gaining on them as we speak. But into the Mike Wilson complex through Bobby Game Corner for the final time. Now out of the final chicane, the 765 from the United Kingdom. Spencer Brorum takes first blood here at Paul Fletcher International in E20 Senior. Taze Dams second, Charlie Turner third, fourth Tomas Ibsen ahead of Junior Jonsson, Philip Loacker, Mats Johan Overhoff, George Holbrook, Cameron Crockett, and also Nils Lilja from Sweden. Andrew Lloyd from Canada takes 11th ahead of E20 Masters winner Andreas Matis, who is just over a second ahead of Switzerland's Gilberto Loacker. Hector Ramirez rounds out the top 3 in E20 Masters, takes 14th overall, and it's a win in E20 Junior for the UK's Joshua Graham in the 698 ahead of Harrison Whitcomb. Rounding out the top 2, Antoine Lemieux from Canada with the 604 takes 3rd ahead of Arthur Lorimier, David Planco and Frederic Lemieux, rounding out the 20 that made it to the end of this race. Also, Christopher Holst retiring on lap 5 and Daniel Sabula through the incident on the second infield hairpin, unfortunately retiring on the opening lap. Victor Sundberg and Kaz Polderman's non-starters with the latter out due to not being medically cleared.